Hello folks, thank you so much for joining me. My name's Adam, this is Tall Lifestyle. I normally do reviews of products, clothing, etc. However, today I wanted to hop on a different bandwagon. I'm probably several years behind on this, and that's okay. But a few years ago, my mother bought me the 23andMe kit so we could explore genetics, etc. I held on to it so long it expired. And then I had to approach the company and be like, hey, we paid for this, please replace it. There was a lot of back and forth and we don't have this and you don't have that and why don't you have access to an email and blah blah blah. Eventually they did replace it, so thank you for that, 23andMe. I sent it in a few weeks ago. There's lots of emails that they have is kind of like re-engaging the platform, I suppose. I've already downloaded the app. This is something that I've been excited about. It's not as if I have no idea where my family and genetically history come from. My maternal grandmother, before she died, did some genealogy. We are supposed to be Lebanese on her side, and she's told me a story. So my maternal grandmother's grandfather, one of them, I don't recall, she said would make grape leaves, stuffed grape leaves, and she has very limited experience when it comes to, or well, what she passed on to me. Her parents only spoke English in the house, so it wasn't like she was bilingual, that sort of thing. I think it was partly becoming enculturated, becoming part of the United States and not standing out too much, despite the fact that she was still pretty pale. My mom has more color than like the rest of us and, you know, pretty green eyes, that sort of thing, but otherwise none of us are terribly tan. My father's side, supposedly, last name is Arico, and so lore has it that we are from not just Italy, but the Sicilian island. If you're looking at Italy, the boot is kicking a ball, and that is Sicily. With it having been this long in the making, I'm a little bit apprehensive. Of course, my mom wanted this information, but I'm gonna open it up and take a look at the results and all of that. You know what? Let's pause here for just one moment. Using forbearer.io, that has been some indication of who has borne your name, your last name, your surname in the past. Where did they come from? How far back did it go? Where in the world are they known from? That sort of thing. So I am going to pause the video, look that up, give that information for both my mother and my matrilineage and patrilineage, and then we will open the results together. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I literally hate that word, but it's okay. We are going to find out a little bit more about me. Hello again, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Based on the names or surnames that I'm familiar with throughout my family history, I'll go through super fast where it is that they're showing up, some of the hits, the countries where they're prevalent, where they are not, and then we will hop into the 23andMe results. So deep in my maternal matrilineage, for lack of a better term, I don't know how many generations, I don't know the degrees of separation, but before my maternal grandmother died, she did some genealogy the old-fashioned way. I'm not even 100% sure how, because it was all, you know, pre-23andMe, at least so far as I know. That last name, there is the potential that it was misspelled. I think I have a memory of her telling me that Ellis Island was involved, people coming over, the misspellings happened, so I could be looking up someone else's last name. But in terms of deep in the matrilineage, looking for Lebanon, 132,645th most common. Approximately 1,700 people bear this surname, most prevalent in Morocco, highest density in Chad. The country that does not have a single occurrence, according to forbearers.io, is Lebanon. The place that I thought we would be from on my mother's side. My mother's maiden name, so I guess my maternal grandfather's last name, where she told me it is from. Okay, all right. There is multiple incidences. Most prevalent in the United States, highest density Guernsey. I do not even know where that is. So for the United States, 11,846. Family lore is that he was the black sheep of the family because she he married my grandmother with, the reasons are unknown. I'm not sure why. So even though I'm sure I have lots and lots of cousins on that side, we were never part of it with their union. And then my actual last name, Enrico, reportedly from Italy, and not just Italy, but Sicily, which is, I guess, the state. When you look at Italy, it's the shape of the boot, right? The ball that the boot is kicking is Sicily. And so it is the 1,168,344th most common surname in the world. Approximately 204 people bear this surname. Most prevalent in the United States, however, highest density in Uruguay. Italy is on the map, so there is that. That's good. How many in Italy? Come here. Only 36 in Italy. In the United States, 74. Argentina, 50. Brazil, 1. Venezuela. Uruguay is only 15 people, but, it's fine. Australia, 7. And then way down here on the Ivory Coast, 2. All right. So what I have learned from this, aside from the fact that the first name and what should be the deepest on my matrilineal side, the country of origin is not present. Curious. My paternal grandfather, that makes sense. And then what was said about my father's family, present and accounted for. It just says Italy. It doesn't really say much about, there's no further drill down deeper details. All right. Okay, I've got other things to do, but I'm ready to find out about me. Adam, welcome to you. The 23andMe results are in. A world of DNA discovery is waiting. I want to pause here just a moment. Okay, folks. I took a little walk around. I got myself some water. I put on some fragrance because that makes me feel better. I am gonna learn. So, the email with all the deets. Adam, welcome to you. View your reports. Here we go. So there's lots and lots and lots of questionnaires. I suppose they've asked me about my psoriasis and what prescriptions have you taken, which have you not. Here on the top, I'm not recording the screen. Do I know how to do that? I'm just not going to do that. It's fine. So it says start with ancestry or start with traits. Next reports, Neanderthal, parental halogroup, type 2 diabetes, doesn't apply to me, I already have type 1, thanks for that. Maternal halogroup, okay, and then asparagus odor detection. I have no idea why that is related. And featured posts, invite your family members. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to start finding people down the street. All right, so I continued to explore the website, and I did find one, additional feature that I did want to discuss here. There is a family tree generator, for other people who have participated in 23andMe, this is who you are related to and the percentage that you share. So the DNA relatives list. Thankfully, this one's not bunk, not that I think that any of this is necessarily, just revealed some information, to put it lightly. But the first 3 people are, at least the first 2. The third one, I am suspicious that one of my relatives just didn't put their name in, but it looks like them. But it did detect my cousins. That's good. Yeah, and then as soon as it gets to the 4th person, the 5th person. Nope, I lied to you, to the 4th person. Everything from that point and below is less than 2% related, so if I have any mystery siblings or cousins, they have not taken a 23andMe. Others who I know have found entire half-sisters. Many of them from this test. So make of that what you will. Yeah, okay, so I don't know where I'm going to splice this into the video, but family tree, valid. So I am going to start with ancestry. So your ancestry suggests, your DNA suggests your ancestry is 60.2 British and Irish with ties to 6 other populations. I'm going to include the little pie chart here. It's very blue. Ancestry composition: European 90.2. Blue eyes gave nothing away. Northwestern European, British and Irish 60.2 plus 20 regions. Nice. French and German, Baden-Württemberg, Germany, and North Holland, Netherlands 20.6%. Scandinavian 0.3, that counts. Broadly Northwestern European 9.1. So in purple, we also have Western Asian and North African 9.1%. Arab, Egyptian, and Levantine. Levantine, Beirut. Ooh, these are spellings. Levantine. Yep, Beirut Governorate in Lebanon, 8.7%. She showed up. Plus 4 other regions. And then Coptic Egyptian, 0.4. Trace ancestry, less than half a percent. We detect traces of the following populations in your DNA. Read more about the trace ancestry in the frequently asked questions: Bengali and Northeast Indian, Angolan and Congolese, and then unassigned, 0.2%. I think if you have 99.8% of your DNA, that's quite a bit. So we're going to go back just a little bit, or too far. Ancestry timeline, that's interesting. So British and Irish, I guess those two are pretty closely related. I just never thought Irish for some reason. Northern and Central Scotland, high likely match. United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, possible match. French and German. Germany, highly likely match. Netherlands, possible match. I realize now I don't know too much about Henrietta, who is my maternal grandmother, I think genetically. I have no idea Donald's marriage history. Pretty sure genetic grandma. Yeah, maybe she's the French one. I definitely knew that my maternal grandfather, yes, had English roots. Maybe she did as well. Well, I don't know. I think we'd have to scan a few more people, but that could get a little awkward considering their current condition. Well, that is the summary. I'm going to do a deep dive into the scientific breakdown. Your ancestry composition results. At the heart of your ancestry composition report is your ancestral breakdown. A list of your population percentages arranged in a hierarchy from the continental level to the regional level. Listed beneath each regional population percentage, you can find matches to groups of people who share your most recent ancestry with you. How we calculate the ancestral breakdown. So the Americas are yellow, Eastern Europe is blue, Africa is all purple, Middle East is bluey purple, Russia generally is salmon, Central Asia is going to be principally China, I believe, orange, the Southeastern Asia is this green, Japan is blood red, then we get down to Australia, this gold color, and I guess this is New Zealand as well. I don't quite feel like reading through all of that. There are all 410 tested populations. My results: European, British, and Irish. We've talked about that. Also, they have a bunch of not detected ones. Okay. So, broadly Northwestern European. I am not Ashkenazi Jewish. I am not Eastern European. I'm not Southern European. No Greek or Balkan. 0% Italian. Donald, do you have secrets? The fuck? Sardinian, no. Spanish and Portuguese, 0. There's a lot of regions. Western Asian, and North African. Did I just forget my cardinal directions? I might have. It's entirely possible. So Levantine, Lebanon, 8.7%. And then, although we've detected Coptic Egyptian DNA in your ancestral breakdown, we have not identified more specific locations that your more recent ancestors may have called home. I think I'm a little gobsmacked at the fact that I don't have any Italian blood, considering things. Okay. Very British and Irish. French and German. Surprises have been found, I suppose you could say. Ancestry composition. So I clicked on parental inheritance, view report. Is this going to be, how is this going to be different? This is no different. Okay, there's a DNA relatives list. Okay. Traits. Explore the genetics behind your appearance and senses. Interesting. Yes, I actually do want to read more about this. Okay. Alright, so the first thing there is physical features, taste and smell, weird and wonderful. The very first thing, thanks 23andMe, it says back here, Adam, your genetics predict 82% chance you have little or no back hair. Lies and deceit. Bald spot, Adam, your genetics predict 87% chance you do not have a bald spot. Bitch. Cheek dimples, Adam, your genetics predict 59% chance you do not have dimples. Well, one of them's right. Cleft chin, your genetics predict 84% chance you do not have a cleft chin. I most certainly do. Dandruff, your genetics predict 56% chance you have had dandruff. And also, in addition to this, what's it called? What do I take Cosentyx for? Psoriasis. There we go. Dandruff and psoriasis. Yep. Earlobe type. I don't know, like this. Your genetics predict 65% chance you have detached earlobes. Oh, I think that's, yes. Otherwise they'd just be like a little, like that. Early hair loss. Adam, your genetics predict 81% chance you will not have experienced hair loss or thinning before. I'm not. Dear 23andMe, what are you doing? Earwax type. Adam, your genetics predict 93% chance you have wet, sticky earwax versus dry, flaky earwax. Okay. Eye color. Genetics predict 51% chance of blue. Me. 21% chance of greenish blue. Oh, now we're gonna, okay. Tell me how right I am or not. 17% chance of green eyes, 9% chance of light hazel, 2% chance of dark hazel, 1% light brown, 1% or less dark brown. No dark brown. I think I might be in the 21 category. I feel like there's a little bit of green in there. These lights are really bright. Finger length ratio. Chance your ring finger is longer than your index finger, 78%. Yes, that is correct. I think. Maybe. They're very similar. No, index is longer. Freckles, your genetics predict 84% chance you have few, if any, freckles. That one's accurate because I have one over here. This might be it. I think that's it. I went to the dermatologist and everything. I was like, I use all these brightening creams. I can't get rid of this dark spot. And she's like, you have one freckle. One. That is what it is. Hair photo bleaching. Adam, your genetics predict 66% chance you're experiencing hair photo bleaching. Okay. Hair texture. Your genetics predict 44% chance of slightly wavy hair. 31% chance of straight hair, 17% chance of wavy hair, 5% chance of big curls, 3% chance of small curls. Wavy, well, I don't know what this one's doing. Oh, it's up here, okay. Yeah, if this is wavy, I'm curious what big curls would be like. I enjoy it. Light or dark hair? Adam, your genetics predict 43% chance of dark brown hair. I think that's accurate. Newborn, 63%, newborn hair. 63% chance you had little or no hair at birth. I do not know. Red hair. 99% chance you don't have red hair. Accurate. Except for that one time that I dyed both my hair and beard. I know I have a photo. I don't know if I'm going to show you. Skin pigmentation. Adam, your genetics predict 39% chance of very fair, 32% chance of moderately fair, 25% chance of light beige. I think I'm in the moderately fair. Am I very fair? I'm not dark. Stretch marks. Your genetics predict 66% chance you do not have stretch marks. I guess it's just the weight then. Toe length. Big toe versus index toe? 61% chance you have a longer second toe. That is not accurate. Unibrow. Your genetics predict 55% chance you have a little bit of a unibrow versus 23% chance of a moderate to thick unibrow. I think that one's accurate. I've just been plucking and waxing since 13-ish. Widow's peak. Your genetics predict 71% chance you do not have a widow's peak. I think that is accurate. My mom does. My father has a double crown. People don't talk about that often. It's where, I don't know, it's a lot more curvy. Some people have like straight hairline. A widow's peak is, and then a double crown, it goes up and down and up and down. So those are my physical features. Taste and smell. There's only 5 of these. Asparagus odor detection. Likely can smell. There's a little arrow. Let's see if that has to do with anything. Can you smell what I smell? After eating asparagus, some people notice an unfamiliar odor in their urine. Whether you can smell the asparagus aftermath is influenced by your DNA. Your genetics make you likely to be able to smell the asparagus odor in your urine. Of 23andMe research participants with genetics like yours, 65% can smell the odor and 35% cannot. I can, so that one is accurate. Bitter taste. Can people not taste bitter things? I bet they like asparagus. Scientists believe the bitter taste sense derived to help animals detect toxins or poisons in food, but not everyone can taste the same things. Your genetics make you likely to be able to detect certain bitter tastes. 58% are likely to taste, 42% are not. And it literally has Brussels sprouts. I do not like the taste of Brussels sprouts. I have yet to meet a Brussels sprout that I enjoy. There are some smothered in butter that I've had that are okay, but cilantro taste aversion. Slightly higher odds of disliking cilantro. Okay, I don't know, it's possible. Ice cream flavor preference. Okay. Most likely to prefer chocolate over vanilla ice cream, 1000%. Is there you will vomit if you have vanilla, because that should be my option. Of people with genetics and other factors like yours, we predict 64% prefer chocolate ice cream versus 36% prefer vanilla. Well, that's very accurate. And then sweet versus salty, likely prefer salty, lies and deceit. Nope. Adam, the combination of your genetics and other factors makes you likely to prefer salty or savory snacks. I just like fast food and bad food. Unfortunate but true. Going into the final category here of the traits. Weird and wonderful, there are 11 of them. Ability to match musical pitch. About a 50-50 chance. I'm not going to dive deep into that because that is not a skill of mine. Bunions, less likely than average to have had a bunion. Okay, I just have very wide feet. Fear of heights, less likely than average to be afraid of heights. I will say this, if I am secure and high, no problem. If I can fall, problem. Fear of public speaking, less likely to have a fear of public speaking. Hello? Flat feet, less likely, this is very true. Hair thickness, less likely to have thick hair. And, okay, misphonia, More likely to hate chewing sounds. Oh, okay. Mosquito bite frequency, likely bitten as often as others. I think I'm the one who provided those results because I remember there being a survey about it. I did try to take a screen share of something. I think they were asking me about my psoriasis. It was about 4 minutes long. I think I even forgot that it was going on because all of these surveys were just like one right after the other. I may include a clip as a little over here. What are these noises? Anyway, phonetic sneeze reflex. Likely no phonetic sneeze. This is very wrong. My mother and I both extremely loud, like dad sneezes, as you might see going around the internet right now. It could be the case of crossed wires in the brain. In some people, bright sunlight, kicks off a round of sneezing. Never mind. The combination of your genetics and other factors makes you unlikely to have photic sneeze reflect. Let's also read the words. 74% do not sneeze when exposed to bright light. What a very curious thing to have happen. Wake up time. Likely to wake up around 8:32 a.m. Okay. I have adapted when needed, and it was consistent to early wake up times. Yeah. All right. So I think I'll go through the maternal haplogroup and paternal haplogroup and then let you go about your day. Oh, okay. So your maternal haplogroup is U5A1A1. I don't know what that means, but we can read further. Migrations of your maternal line. If every person living today could trace his or her maternal line back over thousands of generations, all of our lines would meet at the single woman who lived in Eastern Africa between 150,000 and 200,000 years ago. Though she was one of perhaps thousands of women alive at the time, only the diverse branches of her haplogroup have survived to today. The story of your maternal line begins with her. Haplogroup U5A1 is a branch of U5, one of the oldest haplogroups in Europe. The common ancestor of U5A1 was a woman who likely lived in Europe during the Ice Age around 17,000 years ago. At the time, people were confined to small refuges in the southern part of the continent. When the glaciers began to recede around 15,000 years ago, people began migrating northward, carrying U5A1 and other haplogroups with them. Today, U5A1 is the most commonly found in places such as Norway and northern Germany. Other members of the U5A1 haplogroup moved south into the Middle East, perhaps in search of a warmer, more hospitable climate than the dry, glaciated tundra of Ice Age Europe. Today, their maternal descendants can be found at low levels in Turkey, Iran, and Syria. So, 7,000 years ago, U5A1A1, your maternal haplogroup, traces back to a woman who lived approximately 7,000 years ago. That's 280 generations ago. What happens between then and now? As researchers and scientists discover more about your haplogroup, new details may be added to your maternal line. So U5A1A1 is frequent among 23andMe customers, 1 in 100. I was not sure what this was going to turn into. Paternal haplogroup. So this says something about King Louis VIII. Your paternal haplogroup is RZ8. As our ancestors ventured out of Eastern Africa, they branched off in diverse groups that crossed and recrossed the globe over tens of thousands of years. Some of their migrations can be traced through haplogroups, families of lineages that descend from a common ancestor. Your parental haplogroup can reveal the path followed by men in your paternal line. Migrations, haplogroup A. Oh, there's multiple little, I didn't read all of these from last time. I am going to skip the first one. It just says A, which is the origin of people, it seems. At least the ones surviving now. Origin and migrations of haplogroup R-M269. Your paternal line stems from a branch of RM343 called RM269, one of the most prolific paternal lineages across Western Eurasia. RM269 arose roughly 10,000 years ago as the people of the Fertile Crescent domesticated plants and animals for the first time. Around 8,000 years ago, the first farmers and herders began to push into Central Asia and north into the Caucasus Mountains. Some of them eventually reached the steppes of the Black and Caspian Seas. There, they lived as pastoral nomads, herding cattle and sheep across the grasslands, while their neighbors to the south developed yet another crucial technology in human history, bronze smelting. As bronze tools and weaponry spread north, a new steppe culture called the Yamnaya was born. Around 5,000 years ago, perhaps triggered by a cold spell that made it difficult to feed their herds, Yamnaya's men spilled east across Siberia and down into Central Asia. To the west, they pushed down into the Balkans and to Central Europe, where they sought new pastures for their herds and metal deposits to support burgeoning Bronze Age commerce. Over time, their descendants spread from Central Europe to the Atlantic coast, establishing a new trade route and an unprecedented level of cultural contact and exchange with Western Europe. The men from the steppes and also outcompeted the local men as they went. Their success is demonstrated in the overwhelming dominance of the RM269 lineage in Europe. Over 80% of men in Ireland and Wales carry the haplogroup, as do 60% of men along the Atlantic coast from Spain to France. The frequency of RM269 gradually decreases to the east, falling to about 30% in Germany, 20% in Poland, and 10 to 15% in Greece and Turkey. The haplogroup connects to all of these men. Still others in the Iranian plateau in Central Asia, where between 5 and 10% of men also bear the lineage. Your paternal haplogroup, RZ8, traces back to a man who lived less than 10,000 years ago. That's nearly 400 generations. What happened between then and now? As researchers and citizen scientists discover more about your haplogroup, new details may be added about your parental line. RZ8 is relatively common. 1 in 90 23andMe customers share your haplogroup assignment. Well, I have learned things, including family history secrets that are interesting and might need to be investigated or I don't know, but what I thought I knew about myself, I do not. So, thank you 23andMe. I wish this was sponsored. It was not. Now I've got some scandal to go debunk. Okay, bye. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to see you in the next one. Mostly reviews of clothing, hair care, skincare, etc. However, every once in a while, you're going to get fun stuff like this. All right, bye-bye.